Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the world's biggest stars and some of my favourite people, and we tick both of those boxes today. We've got a lady whose CV is longer than your arm. She's done everything, worked with every legend, and virtually been on any programme worth watching. Anne Reid, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you very much.
This is a real pleasure for me. There aren't many people I get to talk to as well established, as well respected, or as brilliant as yourself. Thank you.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, dear, you can stay. Thank you.
Where I fell in love with you, of course, was Dinnerladies, because, of course, Victoria Wood is probably the greatest sitcom writer of all time, and she gave you some beautiful zingers, didn't she?
Yeah, it was a really good job, that. Victoria has had a huge effect on my life. I mean, she's just, working with her was the beginning. It showed people that I could do comedy. She wrote a couple of sketches that I was in, and it changed everything, really, because you can do stuff and then people don't see it, but with Vic, everybody watches her show, so you get very good profile from that.
I suppose through the generations you get defined by different shows. The 90s probably Dinnerladies, most recently Last Tango in Halifax, which again has reached a new audience, hasn't it?
Oh, that's been amazing. All over the world. I mean, I've just been everywhere. I mean, I've been in America and Australia, and people running after you in the street and sort of not being able to believe you. It's so exciting. The power of television is quite frightening, really. Yeah. But it's wonderful when it's something like that, and it's just a great cast. I think Derek and I work. Who would have thought of that? But Derek Jacobi and I seem to work very well together, and lovely Sarah Lancashire and Nicola Walker, and it's a terrific cast, and wonderful Tony Gardner. I just think we're supposed to be doing a Christmas special next Christmas. Sally hasn't got time to write a series, so apparently we're going to start in September recording a 2-hour Christmas special for next Christmas.
That thing where they always say, no, we've got to leave them wanting more. I hate that, because if we love stuff, we want more of it. And I understand how busy people are, but, something like the Dinnerladies, for example, it'd be great to see that again. Last Tango in Halifax is...
Well, I know. Well, you'll have to ask Vic. I've asked her if she'd do a Christmas special. I think it'd be quite interesting to see what has happened to us all since Dinnerladies. What happened to Dolly and Jean and all the rest of them, Twink and everybody. It would be interesting.
I think what's most interesting about Victoria is she doesn't give herself a lot to play with. I mean, there was a loaf of bread and a canteen and then a load of great actors. That was it, basically, wasn't it?
Yes, you're absolutely. A lot of plastic fried eggs in big pans. Yeah, no, she didn't. We didn't do much cooking at all, actually. But she's such a perfectionist. That's the thing. She insists that the lines are done absolutely as written, because they're best that way, and she's got together the most wonderful group of people. I'm very proud to have been one of them, and there is nobody like her. I mean, if I could play the piano like her, I'd be very happy.
Yeah.
Everybody takes that for granted, the fact that she can play the piano and sing and write wonderful, wonderful comedy, and she just wants everybody to get the laughs. It's not the great thing about Vic is she's not looking to be the star. She wants the whole thing. She's a wonderful writer, wonderful writer.
Sickeningly brilliant, actually, everything she does. She doesn't miss a beat.
Great. She'll be writing movies. She has started. I said to her ages ago, I think you should start writing movies, not for me, but for Meryl Streep and people like that. And I'm sure she will.
Do you pinch yourself now?
An Oscar.
Absolutely.
You know what?
Do you pinch yourself now that you're the go-to actress when it comes to certain roles of a certain age? I mean, when we look at your CV from Agatha Christie through Doctor Who, the shows we've just talked about, and then, of course, Midsummer Murders, shows like that, and then movies, Wallace and Gromit, Love Actually, those sort of things. It is a compliment, isn't it, that you're a guaranteed act, and there are so few of those?
Well, I don't know what guaranteed act means, but... it's taken me a long time to get there, for a long time. I've always jogged, I've always worked, but I've never been a big star. I've never had my own television series. I've never had my name over the title of anything, I don't think, ever. So, I mean, I've had a good career because I've just worked. And I watch these kids coming out of RADA, you know, these young girls and men who want to get there in 10 minutes. And, of course, what happens then is they become big, big stars. And then people tire of them. Directors tire of them. They want the latest thing, the newest thing, the next person out of the drama school. And I don't know what you do after that, but yeah. I think it's, you know, really, as I've always said, I've said it for 40 years, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and you've just got to, you know, if you want to be serious as an actress, you've got to keep working, you've got to keep employed. You know, if you're a man, you've got to have, if you've got a family, you've got to support them. And but the great thing about the business that I love is the unpredictability of it. I mean, my great friend is Leslie Nichol, who plays Mrs. Patmore in Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's been a huge life changer for her. And that can happen in our businesses. Something like that can just drop on your mat.
As I sit here talking to you now, I view you as a legend. How do you view yourself?
Oh, good Lord, no, I don't. I find that quite amazing. I mean, I've just go from job to job, darling, that's all.
You just see yourself as a working actress and that's it?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I think it's lovely. The last few years have been magical, you know, because so many things wonderful things have happened to me. But it was so gradual. It wasn't overnight.
No. But then again, I think that's what makes you so wonderful, the fact that you've done the stage, you've done movies, you've done so many different TV shows, and you're still at it. Like you say, would you want to be the kind of person that was shot to fame at 22 and gone by 23?
Oh, no. No, what do you do? Well, unless I could have thought of something else to do. No. I mean, I'm sure that... But you know, I never got into that star status ever, and that's sort of been so gradually me getting known. I get quite surprised when newspapers want to do articles and things about me. I find it quite...
I don't think you understand how much you've touched us and how much you've moved us with the shows you've been in.
It's lovely of you to say that, and I think everybody in the business, I always tell people, if you know, what other people say about them, I tell actors, you know, they're saying you're wonderful, because I don't think yourself, you can kind of take it, you don't know where you're up to, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really don't know, I can't judge where I'm up to. People tell me that I'm very well known, and I get recognised, but it's been so gradual. When I was in Coronation Street a million years ago, of course I was recognised all the time then. But then I came out of the business for a long time.
Yeah.
Looked after my little boy and my husband, and then I went back into it, and it's just been so gradual. It's just the last few years. It was Last Tango really that did it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what really did it.
But you can't buy being credible. I think that's what you don't understand about yourself, is that you're respected and loved for that, and that's a big credit that you can't buy.
It's lovely. I'm thrilled. The respected I like.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course you were one of Ken Barlow's original wives.
The original wife, not one of them. I was the original wife, yeah.
I wonder whether you view at this point, you can even consider whether you could have had a life and career just as a Coronation Street star and actress, because he did.
No. No, I'd had long enough. It was too long. 9 years was too long. But, you know, the money was good.
Yeah.
And it was a security in a business that's very insecure. And I was very young. I was only in my 20s. And it was a very nice job, thank you very much. But no, I'd go bonkers, actually. I was going a bit bonkers by the time I left. Because I never got a laugh, you see, and I love comedy. I never got a laugh in 9 years, no.
I've interviewed William many times, and I just don't know how he does it, turning up every day.
No, well, it's temperament, you see, darling. Some people have the temperament for that. I don't. I love adventure. I'll always say yes and find out what it is afterwards. I mean, I love adventures. and it gets me into hot water. But I think you have, I just wanted to find out what I could do and put myself into dangerous situations. That's why I'm doing this cabaret. I love it. Well, it's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I absolutely always wanted to get up and sing, and now I've started doing it. And
you said earlier that your name's never been at the top of the bill and you've never felt you've been a star, but certainly in this show you are. It is the Anne Reid Show on tour, and people are coming to see it and indeed selling out.
I know, it's very nice. I hope it's selling out. It's just me chatting really to the audience about my life, rather like I'm chatting to you now, and singing the songs in between, my favourite music. And I've got a wonderful musical director called Jason Carr, who's been nominated for 2 Tonys, and I've never, honestly, it's ridiculous. I think I'm happier now than I've ever been in my life, from a career point of view. I'm so happy.
Is that now because you've got nothing to prove? I mean, you have literally done it all.
No, of course, one is always proving stuff. No, it's because I'm getting offered loads of work, and I can't play the things I would love to have played now because I'm too old. That saddens me. But hey, you can't have everything. But the cabaret is my total joy. It's my creation. And we travel around, and we just started. We only just started doing this show last October. I was in New York with Stefan Bednarczyk, who does his own cabaret, and we did a double act in New York. I mean, how good is that? You know,
stunning.
It was I stood on the stage at 54 Below in New York, 54th Street, and thought, I can't actually believe this is happening at last. It's just brilliant.
You're on Broadway.
I'm on Broadway, yes.
Yeah. And from Broadway, you'll be in Colchester and Leicester and Norwich and Nottingham and Manchester from the 6th of February on tour with the Anne Reid Show. The big roles that you didn't get, we've talked about many that you did. Did you ever want to be sort of a Mama Rose? Was there a specific character you were looking for that passed you by?
You mean in a musical?
Yeah, in theatre, on stage, because I know that's one of your biggest loves, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, there are lots of things I would like. I always say I'd like to have played everything Judi Dench played, actually.
Yes.
But I would love to have done Pal Joey. That's a musical that I like. Oh God, where do you start? But it's no good looking back and regretting things. Now I've just got to grab what's going at the moment. At this stage of my life. And
I guess with the new cabaret show, you can put in whatever you want and do anything you want.
Absolutely. Right, I do. Yes, it's wonderful. I was rehearsing yesterday with Jason, and I almost want to cry. I'm so happy. I just thought, this is what I love.
That's wonderful.
I just love it, yeah.
And I know the one thing I can say to you for certain is that there is a tremendous warmth. Do you feel that when you walk on stage? Are you appreciative of that?
Yes. Yes, yes, it's wonderful. People are so nice. I think they're just amazed I can still walk and talk at my age, really. It's just great. You just pray that you keep your health, that's all.
How are you?
I'm very, very well. I'm very, very well, and I'm just lucky. Good genes, but and I've got 2 beautiful little grandchildren. So it's great. It's all very nice.
I seem to have spent a lot of my time in recent weeks talking about death and the legends we've lost. It is tough, isn't it? Yeah, the older you get, it gets difficult.
Frank Finlay I worked with. Of course, we did 3 series of Life Begins together, lovely Frank, and we were actually at RADA together. He was a bit older student. He'd already been in theatre, but he was... that was very sad. And Alan Rickman and lovely Terry Wogan. Yeah, very sad.
I know it's cliched now, but when they say there'll never be another generation of the people you've just mentioned, it is true. That level of star, we're going to struggle to see again.
Yeah, well, you see, we said that, and I did, and do say that about movie stars. The Judy Garlands and the Mickey Rooneys and the Gene Kellys and the Fred Astaire's.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine. Well, but there might be, but it will not be the same situation because Fred Astaire always, the film, the situation was there for him to use to exploit his talent to insist that they always shoot me from the whole of my body. They don't shoot my feet and then shoot my hands. So he had control and we're able to see his total performance. I don't see that happening. I don't see a dancer ever getting into that position again.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so big, such huge stars. And there was mystery about them. In those days, you didn't know who they were because they were not interviewed on the Mike Parkinson show or something like that. They were never on television until they were quite old, because they were when they were old. But when they were young, they had such mystery about them. People don't have much mystery about them now because they're all on the Graham Norton show.
Yeah, we know far too much, don't we, in a way?
Well, they don't have that. Film stars don't seem, I don't know, I can't tell you what young people feel, but they don't seem to have that kind of aura that the film stars had in my youth.
It's interesting you mentioned Judy Garland just then. I interviewed Lorna Luft just a few weeks ago, and it's interesting as a mother and as a daughter, as a grandma, as a sister, the choices you make. And in the business, I know you actually walked away to raise your family, which I think is an incredibly noble and wonderful thing to do.
Who's Judy Garland? I'd been in Coronation Street and I gave it up. I gave it up because people said I left to have a baby. I didn't leave to have a baby. I left and then I had a baby. I wasn't pregnant when I left the street. Then my husband became ill quite soon, and it was just circumstances, happened. And so I stayed at home for about 12 years after my husband died. But, that's life. It happens. Different things happen to different people. I wasn't a saint. I think if we'd been living in London, I might have been able to work, but it wasn't easy. I couldn't go away.
Yeah.
And so anything that I did was just at Granada. I did odd bits and pieces there, but not much.
You've lived through so much change, and it's fascinating. Even now, I see a fight for women to be equally paid and get equal representation on TV. Yeah, I did warm up for Loose Women for a while. It seems to me Janet Street Porter doesn't need anybody speaking on her behalf. And when we look at your CV, you didn't need doors opening because you opened them yourself. What's your take on that? Is there still a big problem that men are given greater privilege than women?
Oh, yeah, there are far many more. Well, what can you do about it if the writers don't write? I mean, how many, you see things all the time. There are loads of parts for men. I mean, lots of army things, anything, lads, loads of parts for men. And usually they're getting slightly better, but not a lot, really. But you can't make writers write things for women if they don't want to write them. You can't insist that we have plays or films that are just about women. And I quite like, I like films with blokes in them. It's not fair, but I think that's just the world, actually.
It never seems to have held you back, or is that just because you're more tenacious than others?
Oh, I'm very tenacious, so I'm dogged, really. I don't know. I never thought about it from that point of view. I just went for the next job.
Yeah.
I don't think about what's happening to women in general. It's just what's happening to me. I've just said yes to the next thing, Arthur Lowe used to say, he said, we're plumbers, We're just tradesmen and we just take the next job. I don't think it was totally true of Arthur, but he just said, if the money's right, I'll just do the job.
Yeah.
That's what he said to me.
Ken Dodd says he's a door-to-door salesman going around doing his comedy show in theatres year after year, just turns up and does it and then goes to the next.
Yeah, you can't get precious about it. It's silly. But it's a lovely... silent discs, they said, misquoted me, they said, this inner talent, and I didn't dare correct Kirsty because it was the first thing she said. But I've never said my inner talent. I said this bit of talent that I was born with has given me a very nice life. Thank you very much. It really has. Very nice.
And what a legacy, all credible work. When you switch on the TV and see something like an actress on I'm a Celebrity eating camel's testicles or people getting naked on Celeb Big Brother, do you hold your head in shame?
I don't watch them, love, not at all. I've never seen any of those things.
It's very strange how TV's evolved, isn't it?
Competition, I really don't. I always look for any kind of drama, whether it's old Midsummer Murders or Lewis, or I'll always look for the dramas, I'm afraid.
Yeah. And when you get asked to do those shows, Midsummer Murders you mentioned there, would you get nervous when you arrive on set, or is that all just part of the job?
No, I'm not really a very nervous. Some people get... No, I've never been terribly nervous. I get a bit nervous, I mean, the first time I did the cabaret, I was terribly nervous. But, no, I enjoy it. I wouldn't want to work if I was terribly nervous. I don't think it would be any fun. No, I don't. I just think, well, I just do what I do, get on with it, really.
And you've been blessed to work with so many wonderful actors and actresses over the years.
That's always the big plus. Yes, that's lovely, working with interesting people, yeah.
And I get the feeling you're always learning and evolving. You love that, don't you?
Oh, yes. I'm quite a lazy person. I'd actually quite like to lie in the city and eat chocolates for the rest of my life, but that wouldn't make me happy. But it's interesting. I'm very fortunate, really fortunate.
And what an incredible career. Worked with so many people, done so many shows, and you can see Anne Reid in concert in Cabaret coming to a local theatre near you. You can find out more by putting in Anne Reid UK Tour into Google and it will come up. And very finally, please keep on keeping on, won't you? Because we love seeing you on telly. I hope you know that. There's no plans, is there, to stop doing it? As long as they keep ringing, you'll keep saying yes.
Not as long as I can get out of bed and walk about. No, I shall keep doing it, yeah.
You're a true star. Anne Reid, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.